Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and all folks in between. Welcome to Aunt Millicent's Cooking Show. Okay, y'all, welcome back to the show. Tonight, you get to join me on a little journey of making our own dinner here in this house. We're going to be making baked potato soup. It's one of our old family favorites. It's basically taking New England clam chowder and leaving out the clams and adding some more things that we like that are more like a baked potato, okay? So it's delicious. It's great in the winter or the summer, and I think y'all are going to like it. So without further ado, let's apron up and let's get started. Okay, y'all, let's get right to the ingredients. The first thing you're going to need for potato soup, believe it or not, are potatoes. So what I've got here are some nice red potatoes. I've pulled out about 6 or so, but these are the kinds you're going to need. If you've got gold, they'll work just fine too. What you're going to do is you're just going to peel them and then chop them up in a nice little chunkable, cookable parts, okay? Next thing you're going to need is an onion. Just any old kind you got is perfect, okay? You're going to need bacon. You don't need the whole pound. A half a pound will do. What we're going to do is we're going to put this in first, cut it up and put it in first, and we're going to make kind of the bacon entry to make the baked potato soup. You got to have bacon bits. And you'll leave the bacon grease in the pan, okay? So whatever bacon you got will work just fine. The next thing you're going to need is some chicken broth. If you don't have chicken broth, you can substitute just use water with a little bit of chicken, what do they call it, bouillon. There you go. And that'll work, although this actually tastes really good when you use it with it, okay? Next thing you're going to need is some half and half, okay? And you're going to need probably about 3 cups of that, okay? So that's going to mix up with the next ingredient and give your soup a nice, kind of a milk base, okay? So you'll use the chicken broth and the half and half. It'll make a nice brew for you, okay? The next thing you're going to need are the next ingredient, which is flour. And this will make your baked potato soup kind of thick. Okay, we'll put that in with a half and half. The next thing you're going to need is some cheese. This is strictly for, decoration later, not decoration, for enhancement later to make it more like a baked potato. So we'll finish our soup and this will be put in later on top and it'll make it just fantastic, okay? Finally, you're going to need some, and I should have taken them out of the bag, but you're going to need some scallions, okay? And these are the nice, typical green onion that you see. We're going to chop those guys up. And that'll be another one of your garnishes that'll go on top of your soup, okay? Now, I didn't pull them out. The last 2 things you're going to need, one of them is Worcestershire sauce. That's going to have to go in your brew and maybe a little bit of thyme and the spice, not the thing on your watch. And then finally some salt and pepper as needed, okay? So those are all the ingredients for it. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I don't think I need to do this, but I'm going to cook the bacon in the pan, and I'm not going to show that part. I'm just going to throw the bacon in there. And if I want to do a bacon cooking tutorial, I'll show that later. But if you don't know how to cook bacon, look it up in a cookbook. But we're just going to make about a half a pound of the bacon in a pot, and then we're going to add our ingredients to that, okay? So meet you back in a minute. Okay, y'all, while we're making our bacon, we can go ahead and peel our potatoes. So I hope y'all know how to peel a potato. And when you get done peeling them, you just chop them up. So the way I peel them, and you can look this up on other tutorials, is you just cut as close to the skin as you feel comfortable. And if you waste a little potato, well, it's not the end of the world. So you want to get rid of all the eyes and get rid of all of the skin, okay? And by the way, if you cook these with the skin on them, in this particular soup, it's still pretty good. And we know probably the peel is the most nutritious part of the potato anyway, probably, right? Or is that the apple? I can't even remember. But what we're going to do is take about 6 of these potatoes and peel them, and then we'll chop them up, okay? So watch along with me here, okay? Hey guys, I cut up 6 and actually went for 1 more because I saw what I had and it didn't seem like enough potatoes, so I added 1 more, okay? So you can adjust how many potatoes if you like, if you're a big potato fan, okay? So I want to wash these and chop them, okay? Be right back. Okay, y'all, now that we're done with the potatoes, you need to cut up your onion and just cut it into chunks. It doesn't make any difference how. Okay, y'all, we are at the stove, and we're going to do the fun part. The first thing you got to do is remember we've just cooked our bacon. There's a little bit of grease in there. I probably don't want to show you how much, but this is not particularly photogenic. But we've cooked our grease in our bacon in this big pot. Leave the grease in there, and we're going to put in all of the chicken broth, all 48 ounces. And this is going to make a steam, hopefully. There's no telling what that sounds like on the microphone. So the whole thing goes in. I'm sure that sounds lovely. We're going to boil this, okay? And then the next thing that goes in, go ahead and put it on high, is going to be our potatoes and our onions, okay? So we've cut up our onion and our potato. That's going to go in there, okay? The next thing that's going to go in is just a dash of thyme, Thyme, thyme. And then, if I can find it, this would be a really good time to have been more organized, is our Worcestershire sauce. Let me get that in here. Okay, hold on a sec. Okay, sorry about the delay. I'm a little disorganized tonight. So I've got all that in there. I'm going to pour just some Worcestershire sauce in there, just wherever you feel like. I probably poured a couple of squirts. Squirt's not really a thing to measure by, but you get the idea. And I'm going to put pepper and salt to taste. Okay. And just a dash here. And you can salt and pepper it later if it's not strong enough. Okay. So everything's in that we need to boil this first part. So I'm going to bring this to a boil now. And when I get it boiling, I'm going to put a lid on it and cook it for about 20 to 25 minutes. You really want to get it to where the potatoes, where you can pick them up and you can cut them with your wooden spoon or a spoon, okay? And that'll tell you that they're done cooking. They're cooked all the way through and they're fairly soft. Now, if you happen to go over the 30 minutes or 25 minutes or so, it's okay, because everything that cooks in here just gets a little better. Okay, now when we start adding our milk products to here, you need to watch your heat a little bit because you don't want to scorch your milk. So this is our base for our baked potato soup. I'm going to stop stirring it up, and we're going to put a lid on it after it boils and come back after that happens. Okay, I'll see you in a few. Okay, y'all, while your brew is cooking on the stove, you can do a couple of things to get ready. First thing is you can grate some cheese, or you can buy your cheddar in a pack and you don't have to grate it. I'm not going to go through the cheese grating process because I've done that in other videos, but just grate the cheese or use your packet of cheese. And it'll be great. This will go on, as a garnish on your soups. Okay. Next thing you can do is you can actually cut up your scallions. Make sure you wash them real good. Cut the bad ends off that are kind of flaky and the ends off, and just chop them to make a nice little scallion topper. Okay, so I'll do that off camera. You can do that off camera if you like, and just chop them up. Just grab the whole bag of them, wash them off real good. Chop, chop, chop. The last thing we can do to get ready is we can go ahead and mix up our half and half addition that we're going to add to the soup. Okay, so the first thing you got to do is you have got to add 3 cups of half and half. If you don't have half and half, you can substitute milk. You can even substitute cream. Okay, that's perfectly fine. But I think either cream or half and half is really the only way to go. So you're going to need 3 cups of this. Okay, when we get these in here, and this is going to be in addition to what we have already brewing on the stove. Okay. There we go. The next thing we're going to add is 2 tablespoons of flour, okay, to this half and half. This is going to add thickness to our soup, okay? And then take yourself a whisk and just whisk that flour into the half and half until it vanishes, okay? You don't want any lumps. If you have lumps, it's not the end of the world. Everybody's a little lumpy sometimes, right? Well, that's it. Nothing to it. You may want to put this in the refrigerator until you're ready to go. So when everything stops cooking, when everything gets done over there and your potatoes are done, this is going to go in there, okay? So just keep this ready, and I'm going to go check on that stove right now, okay? Y'all, there's one more thing you can do while your bacon's cooking that I almost forgot. We did finish cooking the bacon a while back, so we're gonna make bacon bits out of this. So all you have to do is chop it up. Pretty easy, right? So you should have about a half a pound. And honestly, when we make bacon in this house, the entire pack usually very seldom ends up in the recipe because people come by and grab pieces of it. So, but it's all cool. So just chop the bacon now. We're going to put it in the soup when we're ready. Okay. So I'll be back. Okay, y'all, we're going to use our handheld camera here. This is what it looks like when it's done. It has some, the onions are well cooked. The potatoes should be well cooked. And you should be able to kind of push these to the side and cut them with the wooden spoon or any kind of spoon, really. In other words, you shouldn't need a sharp blade to cut the potatoes. They should be nice and tender. Okay, so this looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put in our half and half and flour mixture. Okay. And we still have a little bit of solid matter there. There we go. Okay, and this gets stirred up and it turns nice and white-ish. It won't be white, but it'll be, you know, it'll look like a, kind of like a, it looked like New England clam chowder is what it'll look like. Okay, oh sorry, I'm trying to get the camera out of the way. So let's stir this up for a while. You can go ahead and put your bacon bits in here and let it cook. So really all you want to do is warm this soup up. So you probably need about another 10 minutes or so. And if you cook it up on high and get this kind of a milk thing, not too high, maybe about medium, a little under medium, this soup mixture with milk and everything will be nice and well cooked and thoroughly spread around. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's put our bacon in and let's go ahead and cook this a little bit longer, okay? It'll be done. All right, y'all, here we have it at the final shot. The soup is done. It is thoroughly cooked. The potatoes are thoroughly done. The bacon is in there. And we're ready to eat. So I'll meet you in the dining room momentarily. Okay, see you there. Okay, y'all, we made it to the dining room, and I have with me my baked potato soup. I have went ahead and added, I don't know how well you can see it, but I went ahead and added my scallions, and I've added some cheese on top and stirred it up real nice. And let's give it a good try here. Okay, here we go. That's very nice. And tastes just like a baked potato, except it's kind of, you know, in liquid form, right? So with that, I guess that concludes the show. So I thank you all for joining me once again. And with that, I will bid you all a happy and healthy bon appetit.